Good. How are you?
Good, man. Sorry about missing yesterday.
Oh no, it's all good. Stuff happens. This is MMA fight coverage. Thank you for this interview. Welcome back, LFA to Phoenix. You guys have had 7 cards in Phoenix, correct? Before?
I think that number sounds about right. Probably there, right around that. Yeah.
Can you tell us about the card coming up that's gonna be out here?
Yeah, I mean, we got 2 great title fights. We've got a middleweight title, which we've got Josh Silveira, who's our current light heavyweight champion, and he's going to be dropping down to 185 pounds and taking on a Canadian, Jared Revel, and fighting for the middleweight. So he'll be our second champ. If he wins this fight, Josh will be. So that's the main event, and then we've got bantamweight. We got a bantamweight fight as the co-main event also, with I always mess up how to pronounce his name, Belgoso versus God, man, I'm totally spaced. I just traveled. Yeah, that's it, exactly.
I forgot I forgot too. My mind's going blank. I know exactly what you're talking about. He's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be, 2 action-packed title fights. And then, as always, the rest of the card, we're always filling with some of the best unknown prospects out there.
I got to say, your match, I've been about 7 or 8 of your shows, and your matchmaking is really good. Because, you got a lot of shows, and you kind of just build a local guy up, and maybe 2 guys are totally outclassed, but all your fights seem like they go each way.
Well, I can tell you right now, I feel that we have, if not the best, I feel he is one of the best matchmakers in the business, and that's Mark Berry. I can't take any credit for the matchmaking. That's all Mark Berry. He is just a true student of always looking, always trying to find the newest, best upcoming guy. And one thing about the LFA is that we put on real fights. You know what I mean? We don't put smash matches together. And that's why I feel that the success of our athletes are proven. I mean, when one of our guys goes up to the UFC or to Bellator, they've been through battles. They've been battle tested. And that's why these larger organizations look to us so much to get our guys, because they know that our guys have been battle tested and have fought in real fights.
Can you talk about the relationship between you guys and UFC, or maybe Bellator? Because I remember you had a local guy here, Adam Stewart, who was supposed to be in the main event, but then UFC called him up, and I thought it was awesome how you let him.
Oh, you're talking about Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle Stewart. Yeah, my bad.
Right.
I thought that was great how you just let him off so he could fight in UFC.
Well, at the end of the day, when we started this whole thing, you have to understand that, I came from a management background. So I always think of the fighter first. And I think that that's one thing that most promotions don't. But we've always have. We want to embrace the fighter, help the fighter get to where they want to go. That's our whole MO, is that, to get these guys to where they need to go. And when Kyle Stewart got that call about 10 days before, he was our main event, our biggest ticket seller. And you know what? Those are the times where you separate the men from the boys. We took it on the chin, but our biggest goal was to get that guy to the UFC. And if it costs us our main event and we take it on the chin and lose some bucks for it, so be it. But at least everybody knows that when we say we're the most fighter-friendly organization on the planet, we prove it. Whether it means us losing some money to be the most fighter-friendly organization on the planet, that's okay. But we stick with what we said we were going to do. We're here for the fighters, and we're here to get the fighters to the next level.
Can you discuss some of the former big names that fought in the LFA? Like maybe Cejudo and some other guys, or RFA?
Oh, I mean, Cejudo, Brian Ortega, God, I start you when you say that there's just so many. Henry Cejudo, we got Holly Holmes, we have, Rafael Lovato, we got, even as recently, we've got, God, man, I'm just spacing out. Gregory Rodriguez, we've got Kamaru Usman. We've got Shomenko. We've got, there's just so many. I mean, we sent almost 260 athletes to the UFC.
Well, who are some of the names currently on your roster that you feel can make it to the big show or big shows?
Well, I mean, I could tell you right now, when you look at any one of our cards, I would say for at least a half dozen of those people, you'll see eventually in the UFC or Bellator. That's without a doubt. So I would say at least, so I mean, as far as like on our upcoming cards, I mean, I can tell you right now, the winners of those title fights, winner or losers of the title fight, just because you lost. I mean, you got guys like a guy like Derek Minner. Okay. Derek Minner went 0-4 in the LFA. 0-4, and he's winning fights in the UFC. So that just goes to show you the types of fights that we put on. So even if you're a fighter and you end up losing in the LFA, it's not the end of the world. It's a speed bump, that's for sure. Anytime you get a loss, it's a speed bump, but it's not. It doesn't take you off the tracks. And I think Derek Minner is a perfect proof of that. You know what I mean? The guy went 0-4 and he's winning fights in the UFC currently.
That's what I love as a fan going to your fights. I'm like, I always tell people that I'm watching with, you never know, like this person, this person, this person are going to be UFC. So it's so cool to see that. I remember seeing
I mean, you got like Sean O'Malley.
Exactly.
O'Malley was, I believe, our first Phoenix show. O'Malley was at.
How was that one? I think he did he did some crazy spinning back kick or something.
We use that in our highlights all the time. It was a spinning back, just a spinning back kick and knock the guy out. Very Sugar Sean style.
Yeah, no, that was great. When's the date and time of the fights coming up?
It's going to be December 3rd. We go live on TV at 8 o'clock Mountain, so 7 o'clock Pacific.
Oh, I was going to ask you, how did the pandemic affect your business?
Well, I mean, not only did the pandemic affect our business, but it affected the world. So what we had to do is we had to, get Sven, Mark, and I, and our team together and figure out a way to how to keep producing shows. And I can remember right when the pandemic happened, Dana called me just to touch base with me about some of the athletes and just kind of let me know that the UFC is there. And I told Dana, I said, hey, Dana, as soon as you kick open that door and start doing events, I'm going to come in right after you. And that's exactly what we did. We figured out a way to produce shows safely during a pandemic. And, the UFC was the first organization in the world to do that. And we were the second. And I'm very proud of that. You know what I mean? Once again, we did 17 shows in 2020 during a pandemic. Nobody other than the UFC did that.
Somebody wanted me to ask you, how has your managing career started and how did it lead you down this path?
Well, the reason how I got into the management business, I didn't start off as a manager. Actually, what happened was I owned a clothing company called Sinister Brand Clothing, and I used to sponsor Chuck Liddell. Then on that, what happened was I went to Japan with Chuck Liddell when he fought Quentin Jackson. There, I ran into my current my business partner in the management company, which was George Guimarães. I've known him since I was a 15-year-old kid. He was my next door neighbor in Redondo Beach. And we've always been friends. He had a TV show and I was there and it was kind of funny because this was back in 2003. Okay. So what happened was he had this camera and I said to him, hey, what camera is that? And he said, it's the Sony PD-150. And I said, man, that's the camera I want to get. And he goes, what the hell do you want that for? And I said, because for my website, I don't want to just have photos of the different athletes that we sponsor. Because my clothing company, we sponsored surfers, skiers, skaters. We sponsored all kinds of different things. So I wanted to not only just have a picture of them, I wanted to have like a video clip so the people could see the personality of these guys. And I was like, oh, this is a killer camera. And he goes, hey, I don't have a cameraman this week. You want to be my cameraman? And I said, yeah. And I'm thinking, this is awesome. I'm going to learn how to use this camera this week so when I get it. So that week I went and did all the backstage interviews with him. And then during the week, I realized to myself, I said, man, this is kind of cool. I'm always at all these MMA events. I could do this for him. And I said, hey, George, who's doing your interviews for you for your show in America? And he goes, oh, dude, we don't have the budget for that. And I said, no, I get it, but I'm just asking you, who does it? He goes, we don't have anybody doing it. And I said, well, why don't you let me do it? I speak Portuguese and I can do it. And in my mind, what I was thinking is, if I do the interview on his show, I'm going to wear my clothing brand while I'm doing the interview, and I'm going to be promoting my brand on his TV show. That's what I was thinking, right? And he goes, cool. So then he said, oh, okay, cool. And then when I got home from Japan, which was November of 2003, I called him and I said, hey, George, I've been thinking about it. I also want to bring your show to the US. And he kind of went like, yeah, right. Okay. And he's like, okay, cool, cool. Kind of just said, go for it. And then in April of 2004, I got our show on a network called KDOC here in LA. It covers all of LA County, all of Orange County, the northern part of San Diego County, and the southern part of Ventura County. It hit about 5.5 million households at the time. I cut a deal with them. We put the show on there, and by the end of the first season, we were the second highest rated show in that region, Saturday nights at midnight. The only show that beat us every week was Saturday Night Live. But everything else we were beating Oprah reruns, we were beating CSI reruns, all those different shows, we were beating them. So then at that point in time, I started building a relationship with Dana. As a matter of fact, Dana used to give me content for free of the UFC to air. So I was airing UFC content on my show before the UFC had a television deal.
Nice.
So that's how the relationship with the UFC and in mixed martial arts. So then at that point in time, before I had my clothing company, I used to manage bands and put on nightclubs. So then what ended up happening, I talked to my partner and I said, hey, dude, why don't we start representing these guys? And he said, well, okay. And I go, it's the same thing as managing a band, is like managing an athlete. They both have to put asses in seats. One's got to sell records and the other's got to sell pay-per-views, but it's the same formula. And then that's how it all started. And at the end of 2004, we started representing fighters, and then the rest is history.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and good luck in the upcoming show.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. God bless. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
How's training going?
It's good. I actually just finished the session here. I'm a little tired, but I'll go home, do some recovery, and then get back at it again later on.
So where are you training at right now?
Right now we're at WKX in Surrey. It's with the Johnsy brothers. So Jay Johnsy's been my striking coach for about, I think, 7 years now. And yeah, so just racking up the wins with him. So
nice. I saw you you're doing some training at Fight Ready. How long were you there? And do you plan on maybe somehow moving out here or something like that? Or just training out here again?
Yeah, I went to Fight Ready for the first time back in June of last year. My agent, same agent as Eric Anders, and I went out there and we got some work in for his fight. I went there for his last training camp, and then they actually I must have done all right because they asked me to come for his next camp. So I was down there for about a month just recently, and that's when I got the opportunity for LFA. For me, yeah, I would love to kind of be down there a bunch as well. It's definitely a great gym. The coaches are great. The training was great, right? So I think I could see myself doing that.
How do you like Scottsdale? It seems like a lot of Canadians, for some reason, they move out here. They call them snowbirds.
Right? Yeah. No. Trust me. Like Airbnbs I'm staying at. I was hitting the hot tub after like some good training, and it's like most people I meet, I'm like, they're like from Canada. I'm like, what? They're out here. Right? So I think it's just an amazing place. Like I come back, man, it was 30 degrees. For you guys, you probably, I'm trying to think. I don't know if 30 is like 100. I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Yeah. I was going to bring up the weather this morning. I was so freezing. I was wearing t-shirt, shorts, and sandals, and I was freezing. So I was just wondering, how's the weather today in Canada?
You know what? In BC, when I came back, we had some of the craziest rainfalls like that have ever happened. We had some mass flooding in some cities like close to me, right? So it's been a little chaotic. Like a couple cities are fully underwater, like submerged underwater. So there's been some major things going on with that. It's been kind of raining the whole time, so I can't really say it's been pleasurable.
You have a 6-fight winning streak. If you win this fight, who do you want next? And do you think maybe UFC or Bellator?
Yeah, the goal is definitely, I think UFC or Bellator, a big fight, and just to kind of staple my name in there with with that upper echelon and, you know, the top fighters in the world. I think, you know, I'm right there. I think I've been proving it, and, you know, all my time I put in, I think I'm ready for it.
You have a hold on one second, did the wrong question. What's your background? Were you a hockey player, or like I just assumed stereotype Canadian?
I grew up a hockey player for sure, an athlete. I played basketball, soccer, you know, every kind of sport we had in my small town of Carmen, Manitoba. Shout out there, right? But yeah, right. When winter, you know, we're minus 40. You know, it's super cold. But hockey was definitely the prominent sport. And after that, I kind of just wanted to try something new. I ended up at a martial arts gym, and you know, some guy armbarred me, and I was like, "What?" I was just like, "What is this shit?" Right. So,
how old were you when you started grappling or MMA?
About 21. That's when I started. Right. So, you know, I consider, you know, my older brother beat the crap out of me my whole life. So, you know, I had some experience, you know, being tough, I guess, or toughing me up. But yeah, the first time I went to an MMA gym was probably 2021.
What do you know about your opponent?
You know, he's obviously the light heavy champ. He's got 2 head kick knockouts. He's a southpaw, so it's obviously different than a lot of fighters out there, right? And you know, I'm pretty sure he's got a really good wrestling base. That's what I understand. He takes people down and chokes them out, right? So that's kind of you know, what I've been preparing for.
What is your strategy coming into this fight?
What is his strategy or mine?
What is your strategy to beat him?
Honestly,
without giving out your secrets.
Yeah, like obviously, you know, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna, you know, like I think all fights I go in there, I want to try and hurt him on the feet, and you know, force him out of his comfort zone, right? Likewise, what he's gonna do. But you know, I feel very comfortable wherever the fight goes. You know, I've been preparing for quite a while, right? You know, and this is just another step for my my career.
What do you plan to eat after your fight once you stop cutting weight and all that stuff?
Oh, after my fight, you know, I always like some type of like hearty, like steak or something like that. That's usually what I go for, like a nice steak or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good food places near that arena, so I'm sure you'll find one of these places.
Yeah, right.
How can we watch the fight?
Sorry, UFC Fight Pass. So join the UFC Fight Pass.
Nice.
It'll be, I believe it's 7 p.m. Arizona time.
And how can we get tickets? Where's the fight at?
The fight is, yeah, you're putting me on the spot here, right?
Sorry. I know where it's at, but I just figured I'd ask you, you know.
It's, I believe it's LFA Ticks. Like, I can double check that, but, you know, I'm awful because I'm coming from Canada, so I don't know exactly the venue. I know it's right downtown.
Yeah, I know they keep changing the name. Like I don't even know what the new name is. So I'm like, I know exactly where it's at right now, but I can't even think of the name right now. So I'm going blank. Do you have any sponsors or anybody you give a shout out to?
Yeah, I have GB Group, the, you know, disposal group that's out here in BC. You know, I'll definitely give shouts out to WKX and Fight Ready. You know, and that's pretty much it at this moment. You know, I do have some other sponsors that are coming through, but they're not 100% confirmed yet, so I can't really be throwing their names out. But
well, thank you so much, and I'll say hi if I see you at the fights, and good luck. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, we're MMA fight coverage. She got mad last time. I didn't say the name, but MMA fight coverage. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
All right, man. Look forward to it.
All right, thank you. Peace. Bye.